The following data was graphed following a 100-meter race between Bob and Ed. What can you tell someone who wasn't there about the race? So what we have to do is we have to look at this graph given to us and see what happened during the race. So let's start at the beginning. Let's find both Bob and Ed's y-intercepts. Well, as we can see, Ed started at the y-intercept of 0. So we can say that Ed started at the beginning of the race. But Bob started a bit ahead of Ed. He started at 20 meters. So we can then say that Bob had a 20-meter head start. Now let's look throughout the race. We can see that Bob's line and Ed's line are both linear. So therefore we can use our formula y equals mx plus b. And from that formula, we can find the slope of both Ed and Bob's graphs. When we find the slope, we can find how fast they went. So let's first find the slope of Ed's graph. We'll use this point at his origin, and then we'll use this next coordinate. So we see he has a rise of 10 meters and a run of 1 second. So we know that slope is rise over run. So we have rise is 10 meters over a slope of 1 second. So his slope is 10 meters per second. And this is for Ed. Now let's look at Bob's slope. We'll again use where Bob started at 20 meters, and we'll use the next intercept on the graph, which is right here. So to get from the first dot to our second dot, he rose 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, and 40 meters. And then he ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. So therefore, his slope is going to be the rise over run of 40 meters for 5 seconds. And this can reduce down to 9 meters per second. And this is for Bob. So we can see that Ed ran 10 meters per second and Bob ran 90 meters per second. So using this information, we can say that Ed ran faster than Bob. Now let's look at the end of our graph. We can see that both Bob and Ed ended at the same position at the same time. So from this, we can say that Ed and Bob tied the race and finished at the same time. So we can tell the person who wasn't at the race that Bob had a 20-meter head start, Ed ran faster than Bob, and both Bob and Ed ended at the same time, so the race was a tie.